Brown rice has long been celebrated as the nutritious, fiber-packed champion of the grain world. Health experts, fitness influencers, and diet-conscious consumers alike have embraced it as a superior alternative to white rice, largely due to its whole grain status and marginally higher content of vitamins and minerals. But underneath this health-conscious veneer lies a concerning reality that's often glossed over in public discourse. Brown rice is also a significant source of inorganic arsenic, a known carcinogen and toxic compound associated with a range of long-term health risks. Unlike white rice, which is polished to remove the bran and germ layers, brown rice retains these outer layers, and with them, most of the arsenic. This isn't merely a matter of trace contamination. Multiple studies, including work by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration and Consumer Reports, have repeatedly confirmed that brown rice can contain up to 80% more inorganic arsenic than its white counterpart. These figures are not negligible. In fact, they highlight brown rice as one of the single most concentrated dietary sources of this poison, especially for people who consume rice regularly, including vegetarians, those on gluten-free diets, and young children. The science behind this risk is straightforward but alarming. Rice is grown in water-flooded paddies, and the unique growing conditions allow arsenic, already present in soil and groundwater due to both natural deposits and past industrial use, to dissolve and be easily absorbed by the rice plant. This bioaccumulation is more pronounced in brown rice because the arsenic becomes concentrated in the grain's outer layers, the very parts preserved for their nutritional benefits. In effect, the more whole and natural the grain, the more arsenic it retains. The consequences of chronic arsenic exposure should not be understated. Inorganic arsenic has been strongly linked to increased risks of bladder, lung, liver, and skin cancers. It contributes to cardiovascular disease, disrupts immune function, and can impair metabolic health, raising the likelihood of diabetes and obesity. Worse still, the body accumulates arsenic silently over time, meaning its effects are delayed, often not presenting symptoms until irreversible damage has occurred. This makes arsenic a uniquely insidious threat, quietly undermining health even when consumed in seemingly harmless quantities over years. Particularly troubling is the risk posed to children. Young children and infants are more vulnerable to toxic exposure due to their smaller body weight and higher food intake relative to size. Arsenic consumption during critical stages of development has been linked to neurocognitive deficits, lower IQ scores, and increased behavioral issues. Studies published in leading journals such as The Lancet and Environmental Health Perspectives have consistently warned that prenatal and early childhood exposure to inorganic arsenic significantly increases the likelihood of developmental delays and lifelong health complications. And yet, the dietary advice given to families often encourages brown rice as a healthful staple, an oversight that could be contributing to a hidden public health crisis. This is not merely a matter of balance or moderation. When a food consistently tests high for a Class 1 carcinogen, more aggressive action and awareness are warranted. Instead, we are met with vague reassurances and half measures, like the suggestion to diversify your grains or to rinse rice before cooking. While it's true that certain preparation techniques can reduce arsenic content, the reduction is partial at best. Thorough rinsing and cooking rice in excess water in a 6-to-1 ratio, then draining the excess, can remove some surface arsenic, but not the arsenic embedded deep within the grain. Soaking rice prior to cooking can also help, but this comes with nutritional trade-offs, as key vitamins and minerals may leach out along with the arsenic. These are not foolproof solutions, they are compromises. And for a food marketed so aggressively as the healthier option, compromise on this scale is a serious red flag. Moreover, the problem is compounded by the lack of regulatory enforcement. While water safety standards for arsenic exist, food safety regulations remain weak. The FDA has issued some guidance, particularly for vulnerable groups like pregnant women and infants, but there are no mandatory labeling requirements for arsenic levels in rice. Consumers are left in the dark, unknowingly feeding their families a product that could carry long-term health risks with every serving. The truth is that the risks of brown rice are real, measurable, and disturbingly undercommunicated. While it does offer more fiber and some additional nutrients than white rice, the trade-off for this health boost may be far more dangerous than most people realize. In today's food landscape, where consumers are increasingly mindful of what they eat, transparency about toxins like arsenic is essential. People should not have to choose between fiber and food safety. In the end, the health halo surrounding brown rice is in desperate need of re-examination. Yes, it offers nutritional advantages, but they come at the cost of significantly higher exposure to a known carcinogen. For most people, especially those in high-risk groups like children, the elderly, and pregnant women, the safer option may not be the whole grain variety at all. Until better agricultural practices, stricter regulations, or low arsenic rice varieties are widely available, diversifying grain choices away from rice entirely may be the only reliable way to reduce arsenic exposure. Brown rice may not be the poison it's sometimes portrayed to be, but it's certainly no longer the health food it's been made out to be, either.